right, so I got a 60, well 61 technically.
Okay, so like what's the goal of your wedges?
The only thing I care about is height and start line, over and over and over.
Okay.
I mean, obviously the bottom comes with that because right now it's skinny and steep, either one.
So give it the same input, but you're really going to move both centers left feeling to you. So it's going to feel like you're pushing the wheel ahead and then keep it there and then rotate around. And then you're going to feel like when you do that, don't side bend when you do it. Just around, yeah. So you're going to go straight to your heel stance line.
Oh, straight to my heel?
Yeah, left heel stance line.
Okay.
So do a practice move. Like that was fine.
Yeah, it's still.
So left bend, push there, good. Now, where's your weight and pressure now?
It's all my, well, it's kind of 50-50.
Okay, so like what's the goal of a wedge?
Distance control.
Okay, so don't move your center mass.
Right.
So if you start moving center mass, you now influence more speed. So you're going to try to kill speed with your wedges.
Right.
So keep the center mass more forward.
Right. This is what I've been struggling with though, because I keep thinking, keep my center mass forward, and then I just don't do anything. Right.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
You can keep it here,
but I can still push and move pressure like crazy.
Push it this way.
Yeah.
So now, if you get your center mass and your pressure over each other, you essentially have no speed.
Yeah.
Which
so
is
one
great.
input output.
Yeah, which is great. So it's the same pattern, but you're just going to anchor it.
Oh.
That's right. And then when you finish, don't finish here.
Yeah, right.
There.
So but talking that out, I'm kind of like full release.
Yeah.
Sending it, and you're saying I can basically keep loft off.
Go to the top. Okay, so here's your left bend. Start driving your right hip around to me. Left hip around. Get room. And keep going. Feel more. There.
Okay.
Yeah, so you watch. So you need to get room. So if I go like this is going this way.
Yeah.
I'm losing room. Okay, that's exaggerated. So you're going to feel like you keep this tilt and go left hip, right hip. See how the club comes more out here?
Yeah.
You're going to feel like that. Like keep it all on this wheel right there.
Okay.
It'll be zero. It won't be like you're raking left.
Yeah, okay. So it's kind of...
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Ready as I'll ever be.
COM forward, pressure pushes off the right. Nope, still came back. So remember, this is staying forward, so I'm in my left bend.
Right.
This is all staying like globally ahead of it feeling. Okay, go ahead and do it. So go backswing. Good, so now keep it, what's your feel? Left hip out of the way, right hip. Yeah, right shoulder higher. There you go, yeah. There you go. It's not so much as like this.
Right.
Because this is moving the low point back.
Yeah, and to me that's moving, like that's draw in my brain.
Yeah.
But it's...
So here's the thing with the wedge. What are you gonna do with a wedge? You're gonna hit down on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
so
a lot. That's gonna push the path right.
Right.
So you don't need to like move your swing direction, right?
Right.
That was a big thing with like Jake, because like Jake hits draws.
Right.
It's like, okay, dude, well,
you're not hitting.
Move the goalpost because you already got plenty of speed. So we're not trying to move this vector at 350 yards into the right rough, right? We're trying to bring it back. Okay, well, the angle of attack with his driver has to be at 2, not 4.
Because the more up,
correct,
the more extreme.
Right, so then with his wedges, which are extremely good now, the angle of attack's more down, so he's drawing it with the down.
Right, not with
and
the
he says that, he's like, I just try to draw the ball with the down. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to hit 10 down on it.
Right.
Might be 7, might be 8 on the high end, but now he feels like he can swing on a circle and the ball draws.
Yeah.
So it was actually a really nice swing.
Actually, that felt better. I expected it to be a little lower.
Yeah, that was nice though. There are elbow balls. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, really good. That's pretty good. Look at that.
That's not bad.
That looks good. See that?
Yeah. That's better.
Lines up better. Around better. Right?
Yeah.
Still a little like.
Yeah, still, yeah.
But that looks good.
Yeah, so that's, I can change that a little bit on.
Like do it with the chest staying more.
Yeah,
there.
so you're saying same up.
Yeah, like that. I'll get it on both sides. That's proper. That's how you move the low point forward. So let's talk about that. So stand right here for a second. I know we're filming this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Mac O'Grady 101. Okay, so low points around the left shoulder. So at some point at P5, okay, your lead shoulder is going to get back to that line and probably below it. Okay, so not with a driver,
Right.
but probably with an iron, especially with a wedge, especially if I'm going to move that radius further forward. So when the whole discussion on chipping about low point, that's like Sevi 101.
Right.
Right, getting that, like that's exactly what he talked about. That's how you bring the ball down.
Right.
One way, okay? Now, what's interesting is there are some players that bring it down by that too.
Crazy amounts, right.
Just depends, like what your goalpost is.
Right.
But that's an off-camera conversation,
Yeah.
by the way. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Would you say that takes more skill or work to be able to,
Yeah.
yeah, like a little bit, it's like a harder on you.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like there's a timing like when you do that.
Like when you start to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you could just do it some guys and just do that and then
Yeah,
got it.
and just never change it.
Yeah.
Try to.
Okay, what did that feel like?
So that's going to be,
There. That's right. Yeah, better. Yeah. Woo. That came out flat.
really flat, super flat, and started right, stayed straight. But way different contact, way different ground.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah. All right.
Look who's not backing up on it.
That's better.
Yeah. So now you can kind of see left shoulder's there. So you center mass hopefully stays more forward. Pressure's pushing towards the center mass.
That's way different though.
Yep. Now you're more on top of it. And then when you come down, you're opening your lower body. So you still get separation. It's not turning your chest.
Yeah, right.
This is keeping it forward. So now you get shuffling. See?
Yeah.
Your arms are straighter and you're not backed up.
Right. Yeah,
Like-
the wrists don't just,
Yeah, you don't want to turn into your chest because you start turning into your chest, you're abducting that, and then this stays above. Well, that just pulls the hands out. Right?
gotcha.
So you don't want to do that. So if you do that, then guys start like doing this. They like pull into it and they pull down.
Right.
And the other thing is you don't want to go here and fire your arms down. What it is, it's
Somewhere
like,
in between.
yes, it's that you need some of this just to stop this so that this can go. But if the radius is back, then you hit blocks and hooks.
Right. Now, is that difference between wedges and long game where you can have a little bit more of?
Yeah, but it blasts off because you're vertical.
Exactly. There's more energy coming out of the system.
That's like the semantics of, if you're working on that independently, and I'm not crapping on other teachers, but like, if you go to the top and then you objectively try to fire this down, okay, but that's not being reconciled by the ground force, which is the kinetics that allow this to happen.
Right.
Or do I go up here and do I manually do this? Like, that's another thing that some guys do. It's like, that keeps the rib cage closed, but like, what, you're not accounting this also, like your shear, like your rotational shear.
And that, okay, but when you're not accounting for it, you mean like in your delivery of instruction.
Yeah.
You're saying like do this, but in reality you're doing like that.
Your torque's doing it.
Right.
Your separation's doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't say like objectively like try to do any of that or any of that.
Do you ever as a coach tell somebody who might do some of this?
Not anymore. I did 5 years ago.
What would you do now though? Like what? Yeah, like would you get them backswing mass and then go type stuff?
Yeah.
So like worry about where the club is.
Yeah. Like get
sequence.
P2 to 3 better, and then as that's loading, it'll do that.
Right. So like you'll go backswing sequence, backswing sequence, and then it'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I always try and wrap my head around like where does a 30 handicap start with, like how much wrist thought do they need?
Probably pretty heavy off the ball.
Yeah, so it's like you may do more, because me and you don't talk about it, but I'm not a 30 handicap.
Yeah.
So it's not like I need to understand that I don't do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you might want to keep.
Well, I would go as far as to explain why you're doing it. So like so that's a good conversation. So if I have look, most of my students are not Victor Hovland.
Right.
Okay, let's just be honest. So most of them are regular guys.
Most people are.
Yeah. So like nobody is.
Yeah, right.
So, but to that point, it's like, okay, if I have a player who is manually turning the forearms or the wrist or something here to account to make a backswing, I look at it and I go, okay, like this is what you're doing and this is where it needs to be, but here's why you're doing it.
Right.
So as long as there's a why in front of why they're doing it, then it's very easy to have them train to where they need to be.
Right. And so now the why you're saying might be like, hey, your why is you swayed, or your why is you spun the hips.
Yeah.
And so like something's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not ever trying to place it in a position.
Right.
There's got to be a force that applies the club in the direction.
Right. Okay.
And as long as that's okay, then you're okay. Now, if the player's a little in, I don't care. If they're a little out, I don't care.
Right.
But then placing it somewhere, that's a problem.
That's more problematic than being slightly off.
Correct. Yeah. That's way better.
It's a much different like repeatability feel.
Yeah.
It's not like one time is seeking forward, the next time I'm throwing, and it just feels the same.
Good lesson.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's good.
So
recap. Again, I'm used to moving mass, and I like it. Feels good. But I need to figure out how to move pressure without maybe moving mass, or like move pressure to hold mass, like to fight against mass moving.
That's a better way to say it. I don't have a problem when you get to the big dog. I don't have a problem with you moving the mass.
Right.
As long as it's long enough to support you pushing at the right time.
Right.
So I mean by that, like John Rahm's not going to move his mass very much because
doesn't have enough time.
Yeah. So like that's the elephant in the room.
Right.
So if I do choose to have a bigger horizontal, which you do.
Yep.
When does it get bad is when you don't push early enough to push it back.
Yeah. Or give yourself enough time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to kind of count on that, and through when you do the high speed stuff, like start looking at that.
Yeah.
Go, okay, like you look at Kyle, like he's like boom, and then he's like
whoa. and
then he gets it back.
and then it's just like gone.
Then he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But this is why, like, I have good driving rounds.
Yeah.
And I hit the wedge like
100%.
terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I give myself all this time.
Yeah.
And then I do it in a wedge, and I'm like, oh, I got to stop here.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you try to shove it forward, then you shove the horizontal, and it throws everything this way.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so, like, maybe like the shorter the swing even gets, even for like a little guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's more push.
Yeah, push immediately.
Yeah. Now I'm still like, it still felt like I had some of this, but I'm met with just immediate push.
Yeah. And that's actually a good thing. So if you watch Rumford a lot,
Yeah.
so Brett kind of gets into his right foot, lifts his left toe,
Yeah.
and then immediately starts shifting that over.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Yep.
And that's also like a Sevi thing.
Yeah.
So like Sevi would say, okay, I'm straightening your right leg faster. Like, well, what does that mean? He's pushing further this way.
I was gonna say that's another one that I talk about with people. It's like, you see this, like your knees should change flex to keep, but it's not like just like
It's
like
not
I
just,
can do this.
Not just doing that. It's pushing. There's an activation to it.
Yeah. And then the thing I always like, you said, the knee might extend and push, but the hip doesn't extend and push.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Just making sure we're on the same page. It makes it better for me.
I mean, the only option I have is move the CG on the top of the club on the wedge to hit it low.
Yeah. Right?
Those are nice.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're amazing. All right. I'll stop this. Do you want to hit a couple drivers?
Sure. Do it. Yeah.